All right, good morning, everybody. Happy International Gift Returning Day, the day after Christmas. I guess that's what they call it today now. Why not? Let's just call it International Gift Returning Day. Welcome to today's Microsoft Flight Simulator live stream. I'm your host and pilot, as always, Uncle B. Today, we're returning in the Junkers 52, departing from Aspen-Pitkin County, Sardi Field, blah, 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 Aspen, Colorado. We're heading to Phifer Wheatland up in Wyoming. We're going to bypass Cheyenne. We've been through some of these parts already, but I wanted to find a spot that we haven't landed at yet to just to give us a different view here in America. So right now, oh, you know what? Before I say anything else, yeah, see, I didn't even check it. I got to talking. A couple of folks that I played Division 2 with. The Division 2, not Division 2. I don't want anybody to think I'm playing football or whatever. But anyway, I do need to make a slight change to the plan here. Gotta take something out that I realized I don't need in the flight plan. All right. So right now, as it stands, we're going to leave the live weather on. See how we do climbing out of Aspen here. So we're going to take off on runway 33, and then eventually we're going to hang a little bit of a right turn and head towards our first VOR DME here in the distance. Right. That's Lair. Oh, there we go. We went right past it. RLG, and then we hit Laramie, and then we'll be landing there on runway 26. That's based on the live weather right now as it stands. I checked the winds and all that. A lot of crosswinds today. So that's going to be the difficult part, is trying to get out of Aspen and climb and fly. So at least initially, probably until once we're clear of the mountains, I'm probably going to be having to hand fly, so my attention may not be on the chat right away. And that's another reason why we start early, so it gives people time to come in and say hello before we get started. I do want to give a quick thank you to Marco88. Excuse me. What? Marco88 for the follow over the weekend. I think they followed during or after Scruffy's stream over the weekend. I think it was Saturday morning. I think it was. So yeah, thank you for that. Appreciate it. And then, so yeah, that's what we got going on. So let's see what else. Trying to think what else. I lost my train of thought now. Oh, speaking of trains, I did. Oh my goodness, I did. I was on Train Sim World 3 over the last week, towards the end of last week, and I think Saturday, while Scruff was flying, I was on there trying to find all the collectibles on the Wurzburg to Castle route. Oh my goodness. Even with a guide, I missed stuff. I had to go back and find everything. Luckily, I did. Got some achievements done as well. But yeah, it was just, very time consuming. I was holding up traffic because I was going. They got these little signs that show like the tunnel length, and some of them don't have the length, like 4,000 meters or whatever, for instance. So I was finding all those, and there was two that I missed, and I was just like, I had to start at one end and go stop at each end of every tunnel to check to see if it was the one that was missing. So yeah, that was a long process, but got it done. Did a couple flights yesterday did a flight from Chicago to JFK, and then yesterday evening I did a flight from Carthage in Tunisia to Algiers. That was a nice little flight. Really enjoyed that. So didn't stream anything. I know I could have, but I didn't. I just I'm of the mindset, sometimes it's just nice just to do stuff off stream and not worry about, you know, putting the stream together. And then if you're going to put it on YouTube, what time is it going to, um, premiere and everything. And yeah, so yeah, it was, well, yeah, I just did a couple of flights. So we'll get started here shortly. After we get this flight done and I take a little short break, I think by then Scruffy will be in the air for the Cannonball run. I think registration is now closed for that. They're starting in JFK, and you end up in LAX. There's a word they're going to give everybody today, and then you have to land at an airport. So if like the word is ground, and you land at Denver, you only one of those letters, so D and N, are in ground, but you can't double it up and say, well, I took care of D and N. It has to be one or the other. So you have to either do a stop or a touch and go, or you have to, if it's on your list of places to stop for fuel. But yeah, there's a whole bunch of rules and all that. I think Scruff's going to try to fly as far as he can today. I think he's hoping to get it all done in one day, which is a lot of flying. So, especially it's only in a single prop, non-turbo. So I'm going to try to hop in and fly with him for a little while today, later today sometime. And I think he's streaming most of it, or not most of it, or all of it, but just a good portion of it today. So, I'm probably going to hop in and fly a little bit with him and get some more hours knocked out for Parasox Airlines. Today's flight's brought to you by Parasox Airlines. Speaking of Parasox, just because you have a pair of socks does not mean they have to match. Ask Scruffy, he'll tell you. All right. We'll get started here in a moment. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna leave the weather live. We'll see how it looks when we get on the ground, and then we'll adjust the time. I've already got the fuel added. I think we got more than enough to get us there. Matter of fact, I think I've just added just a little bit more just to be on the safe side, because with the weather being the way it is right now, I just want to have a little bit extra in the tank just to. Let's go 75 just to be on the safe side. There we go. Just in case we end up going all over the place because of the wind. All right. And so here is the route. There is a vortex right near. It's right here, RDY. It's right next to. There it is. I didn't realize it was that close to the airport. So I just took it out so that we only have the two VOR DMEs to worry about today for navigating. Between RLG and LAR is our longest leg of the flight, and then but the first two are within 50, less than 60 nautical miles. And the server, I did check that. We are on the Southeast Asian now. I don't know why it keeps changing. I never used to have that problem. It would always stay, but now I have to. It's like I have to check it before we get started. So, all right, I'm going to step away for just a moment, folks. I will be right back. We'll get started. All right, I'm back. Sorry about that. Okay, let's let's just go ahead and pop in and we'll get going here. And I just need the excuse me. All right. Oop. Time adjusted. Yeah, we go. That'll work. 7:30. And let's see. Turn off that. That was 1380. Morning, Joseph. It never fails, Joseph. I just spawn in and you come in and say hello. I'm busy. Man. My goodness, young man. That's why I start early. That way we have time to chit chat and say hello. Before I come in here and try to get the aircraft all set up. How are you, Joseph? Did you have a good Christmas? Did you leave your phone at home and spend time with your grandma? Oh, let's get this on. There's that. And let's go ahead and lean this back. So we're already up at altitude. Oh, I gotta change the altimeter as well. Alright, there's that. We can change that to dim. There's that. Alright. Miss anything in the chat? No. Alrighty. Alright, so let's see, our initial heading will be, once we're in the air, 014. Alright. I think we're all set otherwise. Alright. Let's go ahead and get going here. Ooh, I know what I forgot to do. Add some heat to the carburetors. Even though we don't have icing on, I want to, once we get going. Away we go. All right. So let me we should have one regardless, but try to keep an eye on the chat as best as I can. If I happen to miss anything, I apologize in advance. There's Aspen behind us. Wrecky Ralph. Okay. So I watched a documentary last night on it was a Boeing versus, or Airbus versus Boeing. And it was a very interesting documentary, although it was very jaded against Airbus. I didn't realize that they talked about, I think it was the A340 that they were going to produce it, and then something happened where there was like no orders at all or whatever, and so they canceled the program. They didn't talk one time about the 737 series, and especially the failures of the 737 MAX, I think it was, that had all those issues. It was very pro-Boeing. I didn't think about it until afterwards. This morning when I was reading it, they didn't talk about this. They didn't talk about everything that they should have talked about. Morning, Amela. How are you? I had leftover pork loin for dinner last night. I got one of those large pork loins, made it, and I had that throughout the weekend. Yeah, very, very, it didn't dawn on me until this morning that it was a very pro-Boeing document. They didn't say all the troubles Boeing's had, in the more recent decade, or decades. There was a lot about the two companies, or you know, in the late 80s when Airbus, uh, I didn't realize they had given, there was a failing airline called Eastern Airlines. It was started by Frank Borman, who was an astronaut, and it was going under. And so Airbus basically came to him and said, "We'll give you four Airbuses. I think it was the A300s at the time. We'll give them to you for free for like 6 months, and that way we're getting our name out there, and you've got newer aircraft to fly on your airline." Oh, and the American government was pissed. They were like, "That's not fair. This airline is going bankrupt, and you guys they're getting free aircraft. That's not right, you know." Airbus had won an initial contract with the Air Force to build the next generation in-air refueling tanker, and that got negated because even though Northrop Grumman was going to build those tankers, American government said, "Well, how can our Air Force get a plane that is not American made, even though it's going to be made in America? It's an Airbus aircraft." And that's not right. Yeah, it was a very bit of treetop flying here. So that deal got negated, and Boeing won the contract after all. I didn't know this, but Airbus has a plant in Mobile, Alabama. It was the first Airbus factory here in the United States, down in Mobile, Alabama. Better not stay outside too long, otherwise we're gonna end up in a mountain here. Yeah, I'm doing good. Yeah, well, I was gonna say it was a quiet Christmas, but then some of my neighbors were fussing out here last night about 5:30, 6 o'clock, something in the evening, about something. I don't know what they were fussing about. Really, it's Christmas. What is that? Garbage. Yeah, I'm good. See, Joe was quite busy with a lot of premieres yesterday, it seemed like. He must have pre-recorded a lot of content for Christmas. Here before ads are getting ready to start. Ads are incoming. temperature for the flight. 30 nautical miles to our first VOR DME there. Just a bit there. Just forgot about that. Of course, our plane nose is over. Chat there. See? Now it's all quiet. I don't know if everybody's like, let's see if he wrecks it or... I got 5 people watching. Only Joseph and Amela are brave enough to talk in the chat right now. Don't be scared. Acknowledge your transmission. Cut through there. That should be a good spot. Yes. It was fine, Joseph. Just another day here where I live, other than the neighbors fussing. It was typical. I guess even the neighbors fussing is typical. They just do that regardless of what day it is. Oh, it was fine. Had some pork loin for dinner and watched some movies, and that was it. You didn't eat much yesterday. Okay, Joseph. Well, I part of me wants to know why, but part of me is like, no, I don't want to know why. As long as you had a good Christmas, that's all that matters. Now, see, if Amela said he didn't eat much on Christmas, that's a cause for concern. Oh, Scoobs, how are you? Thank you for the raid. Welcome. Thank you, Fame Illy, I'm sorry, for the follow just now. Or I just saw that, I'm sorry. How are you, Scoobs? I recognize you from, I think, either Captain Arash or Scruffies, or both. Hey, Caesar Empire, how are you? Welcome. Welcome everybody. I'm your host and pilot, Uncle B. We're in the Junkers 52 today. We just took off from a little airport there in Aspen. We're heading to Phifer in Wyoming. We are on our way to our first VOR DME, which is 20.8 nautical miles in front of us. We're just navigating the mountains here in the live weather in Colorado. So we're making our way kind of northeast-ish. North. Yeah. We fly on Mondays and Wednesdays. We do Junker 52 flights. We're doing a tour across America. This is leg 31. We started off in JFK. We're making our way. We're zigzagging back east, and then we'll eventually land back at JFK. Try to hit all the lower 48 states. Thank you all for the coming in and hanging out. Greatly appreciate it. Oh, 7 bits. Well, thank you, Caesar Empire. Appreciate that. Thank you for the follow. Head hit wall. Thank you for the follow. Let me just make sure I don't miss anybody. X Dragon. Thank you for the follow. I'm probably going to miss some of these follows. If you just followed recently here this morning, thank you all very much for that. Thank you for the raid there, Scoops. Appreciate it. Nice to see you all here. Hopefully you had a great holiday season. Hopefully if you have to return gifts today that the, what's the in-flight entertainment? Sometimes we have story time. I kind of recount some stuff from my time in the military. Other times we just, we have story time every once in a while. Yeah, but today the entertainment is not. We're going to try not to fly into a mountain today. That's the entertainment. While we're navigating up to Wyoming. Yeah, I recognize the your name, Scoobs. I'm almost positive either I saw you in Scruffy's stream the other day or in Captain Arish's stream. I think it was Friday. He was doing the stuff with his dad, which was really fantastic. No crashing. Yeah, no crashing. That's the plan. Although sometimes, unfortunately, as much as we try not to crash, the plane and everything has a different agenda. So yeah, I am on the Southeast Asia server. If anybody wants to pop in, I think our first first VOR DME is near a small airport, but here's the route. Cursor there first. So we're heading to RLG, 15.3 nautical miles there to that, and then we head towards Laramie. It could. I think there was a Junkers. Yes, it might have been in one of the Indiana Jones movies. I think you're right. I have to watch. It was probably either 1 or 3. It was in one of those. Well, thanks, Scoops. Appreciate it. Thank you, Druzy, for the follow. Again, if I miss anybody who's follow, I do greatly appreciate it. I'm trying to keep an eye on that. So yeah. Mondays and Wednesdays is Junkers 52 time. Thursdays we're working our way towards the end of Route 66. We're just doing a point-to-point flight. Or maybe it was Temple of Doom. You might be right. Yeah, I think you're right. Uh, Fridays, we're alternating. This Friday, we'll be doing a jetliner flight from Chicago to Newark Liberty. Alternate Fridays, we're doing a tour of South America in the Twin Beach. So, next week, only streaming Monday and Tuesday. We'll do 2 Ukers flights on next week. The rest of the week, I have other things I got to take care of, and so we will not be streaming past Tuesday next week. But then we'll get back into it the following week. So Wednesday we'll take off from Phifer, and we're heading to Bismarck. So yeah, got some flying to do. But I only stream 4 days a week: Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I leave Tuesday open so that if I can, if I have to cancel one flight, I'll do it on a Tuesday. But next week I just will only do the 2. I think I don't know if well, you might. Looks like KEGE. Right there is the closest. A little bit behind me somewhere, but you might be able to get there and KEGE. Southeast Asia server. Flying with the live weather just to see how we get on with it. They argue pretty much all the time, Amela. I was sitting there watching TV last night, and all of a sudden I hear this shouting. I'm like, what in the world's going on? And so I poke my head out there, and they're just going back and forth, fussing with each other. Boss Man. Recognize Boss Man from, I believe from Scruffy's stream the other day. 11760. But yeah, they were just out there fussing. I very nearly poked my head out there, and it was going to be very unpleasant. It's Christmas, and this is what you guys got going on, really. It's rather sad. And I'm sure there's plenty of people, that weren't near family for the holidays and would have loved to be near family. But there they are with family in their person. And, oh, matter of fact, I went to Walmart Saturday morning, and this one person was this. It's like one of those things that it's almost like a Jerry Springer episode. Some of the stuff this woman was saying was just like, oh, really? It's Christmas Eve, and you're in the middle of a Walmart, and oh my goodness. Yeah, it was atrocious. Yeah, exactly, Mella. But some people just can't. They have to have that drama in their life. they can't live without it. But I would agree that, yeah, if it's that bad, why not just call it quits? Yeah, well, thank you all for the raid. 33 people in watching. Bossman Gaming, thank you for the follow. Mile High Club, thank you for the follow. Bossman Gaming, I recognize you from Scruff stream on Saturday morning. Yeah, some names I recognize from either Captain Arish's streams or from Scruffy, because I know they kind of overlap sometimes. Same thing with Allison Johnson's streams. I recognize names sometimes from there. I think most everybody follows everybody else, you know. So, I didn't expect this on a Monday. I thought it would be kind of quiet. You know, most people would be getting ready to head back to the stores to return gifts or something. Oh, thank you, appreciate it. Yeah, I'll accept your your friend request head hit wall once we're on the ground there in Phifer. Kind of hard to do all that in the midst of everything, but yeah. I will be, like I said, I'm gonna, once I have a bit of a break after we conclude this flight, I'm gonna try to hop in and fly with Scruffy for a while today while he's doing the Cannonball Run stuff. I could see why. I remember Sergeant Staff was talking about the SR-22 little single engine prop plane. I think I'm going to fly. It does have a bit more range and a bit more speed compared to the 172 that I think Scruff's going to fly. Yeah. Okay. I thought I remember you from Saturday when Scruff did a quick stream on Saturday before he had to go get the chicken and head over to his mom's. This is going to be the difficult part, because I cannot see anything right now. I'm going to rely on this. That okay, we're still high enough, but oh boy, this might have been a bad idea. We'll see what we can do. We'll see if we make it. Not this is gonna. It's going to end very, very badly here. Alright, I got it that one. That's, alright. 1760. We are. Heading 008. Alright, heading to Laramie. Second. VORDME. Must be a lot of stuff in the way to keep that signal from reaching us. Yeah, I haven't flown with Allison in a while. I know her schedule's been kind of hectic because she's been traveling a bit, and she's not been well either. Yeah, trying to, it's like I started following so many streamers now that it's like I'm trying to find time to spend with everybody, you know. Using the F-35 there. Heads into 172. Thank you all for coming in. Greatly appreciate that. What a nice way to start the week. The raid, some new viewers, some new followers. Appreciate that. Oh, am I getting myself into trouble here? I kind of feel like I am. Oh, ooh, boy, it was a bit of a stutter there. Oh, boy. That didn't give me a warning, was it? So back tomorrow, 6:45 Eastern, 11:45 UTC/UK. Not tomorrow, Wednesday. I'm sorry, not tomorrow. Wednesday. Euchre 52. Tomorrow, no stream. I do have a Discord. It is not a chatty Discord like some of the other ones. If you follow Captain Arash or Two Tones or Scruffy's. It's just mainly information. I post like the schedule for the week there, and yeah, just if you want to kind of keep up to date with what I'm up to, it's the place to find out. I do post car-related videos. There's somebody on YouTube I follow, 19 Bozzy 90 or 89, something like that. He posts videos from Imola and Monza in Italy, like race car testing, stuff like that. And then aviation stuff, I post, there's a link over there, or a page I post aviation related YouTube videos. There's another Euchre 52. Always nice to have another Euchre's in the air with me. Well, it's nice to have anybody in the air. Like, kind of like what Scruff says. Fly whatever you want. You want to fly around in a jet fighter, and do loop-de-loos, and fly upside down and whatnot. More than welcome to. If you want to fly the same plane as me, you're more than welcome to. whatever works for you. You just want to sit back, relax, and watch, you can do that too. You can do all the above. Hop in your plane and put it on autopilot and just sit back and relax. Oh, so one of the two flights I did yesterday, the first one was from Chicago to JFK, and I flew in the Embraer 190 because it was a JetBlue service. Now I do have a JetBlue livery for the A320. It might be even for the A319. I don't know. But that Embraer, those virtual coal Embraers are just. It was just. So I'm climbing, and next thing I know, I'm overspeeding for some reason. So I had to disengage the auto throttle and throttle back, and I had to fly the rest of the way like that. Coming in for landing, I couldn't dial down the speed. I had to just put the flaps down, and it would automatically adjust the speed accordingly. Yeah, they're just a hot mess. Still I think there's been minor updates to them, but nothing significant to improve the flight model and the, dialing in your speed correctly and all that kind of stuff. It was just, But the second one I did from Carthage Airport there in Tunisia to the main airport there in Algiers was really good. Enjoyed that. Football. Not a big. I used to be a big football fan, but not anymore. I can't keep up with it, and it's just the officiating is just atrocious as well. No, didn't watch any football. I haven't watched a football game. I think the last time I really watched a game was the Super Bowl. It was Niners and I forget who the other team was. It was right before lockdown. It was 2020. Yeah, I used to be one of those people. I'd be up early Sunday morning, watch all the pregame shows, all that kind of stuff, be shouting at the TV because of the idiotic refs. And but after a while, it's like, just putting a lot of energy into it, and it just wasn't worth it. Skirt over this mountain area here, and I try not to stall the plane while I do it. Just need to get a little bit more altitude, but boy, this thing is fighting right now. Space there to clear this mess here. Still not picking up that signal. We're heading the correct direction as long as we're heading roughly the right direction. I do one of these days, maybe sometime. It won't be before the end of the year this year, but I do want to do a try a flight in a glider. May have to try that off stream today sometime, in between flying with Scruffy on the Cannonball. I have an idea. I'd like to do a glider flight near Yosemite. See, gotta find an airport that'll do that out of, glide over Yosemite. Still want to do a flight in the Concorde. We'll do that one Friday, hopefully soon. Next month or so. Have to do a flight start to finish from off stream though, just so that I can get an idea of what I need to work on. So Russ getting ready to go live here in about 10 minutes or so. Cannonball, so I'm gonna where he's going to be. Do I have the DC6? No, I'm on the Xbox, so we don't have it yet. Once the Wasm fix comes out, then the Xbox will get it back. That was the main motivator behind the Wasm fix, was what happened with the DC6. But no, I wish I did. It was one of those ones I had it on my wish list. Hey, Acoustic. Acoustic finally. Come on. Yep, there he is in the DC3. Let's see, Acoustic. He does like to do a bit of formation flying. So yeah, I was, matter of fact, the day that everything kind of fell apart with the DC6, it was that morning I was going to buy it, and then when I went in there, it wasn't in the marketplace. I'm like, what happened? And that's, I kind of looked around, and that's when everybody was like, this is what happened, and I was like, oh. So yeah, I would like to. It's one of those ones that definitely but I'm hoping early next year sometime, I'll have enough money to get a PC. I just need the tower. I don't need everything else. I've got a keyboard and a mouse. I can use my TV as the monitor. So I just need the tower, and as soon as I can get enough money together for that, then I'm going to go PC. But then I also want to get the yoke, the throttle, and the rudder pedals. Yeah, I heard that, it was just like, it seemed like earlier this month or towards the end of November, they did their first major update for it. I know Kraut over who flies with Captain Arash a lot. He likes the DC6, but he was saying that it since release, it kind of took a back seat while PMDG was doing a lot of the stuff for the 737, and but they finally did an update for it. So I don't know what the update did. I just remember there was an update for it, but he was a bit upset. He was a bit unhappy that they, that the DC6, which seemed to be one of their flagship products, was, not given some proper attention after release. But see if we can get more speed there. So yeah, that's my plan. I really enjoyed. I mean, I'm thankful that we got a sim like this on the console, but there's so many limitations on the console that it's more of a hindrance than anything, and it's just I just can't see, eventually, like I'm on the Series S, and a lot of times it feels like I'm struggling. I'd like to get an X until I can get the PC. I may do that in the interim because the Xbox Series X has a bit more powerful processing than the Series S does. I thought they were the same, just in the smaller pack. The S is in a smaller package, but it turns out that is not the case. So I may have to bite the bullet and get an X. Yeah. Morning, Mick. How are you? Nice to see you here. Founding member of the channel, Watt Mitford. Give him a shout out. He's still sorting out some technical issues with his internet, but he does stream. Once he gets back onto the schedule there, he streams ATS, ETS, what else? We do Farming Sim together sometimes. He's on Modern Warfare 2 sometimes. What else is there? He's a variety gamer. There you go. That's right. He's a variety gamer. So Google give him a follow, please. And his partner in crime. Can be seen together streaming, not always, but Pulse does. He's been he just got done with the major stuff on Assassin's Creed. He just started Gods of War Ragnarok, I think. Was it? Or Gods of War, the newest Gods of War. So go give them both a follow, please. Yeah, I'm just waiting for Vic to say, let's get back on the farm. Got some trees to deal with. Still. Yeah, he just gotta. Oh, is that what you were trying out? I saw you were on Flight Sim last night, Mick. Was that what you were getting all set up as your new yoke and throttle and all that? That's awesome. Yeah, Santa was good to you this Christmas, huh? Yeah, I saw you on there last night after I completed my flight from Tunisia to Algiers. I saw you were on, so wow, it's kind of late for him. I'm guessing you were trying out your new toys. All right, we have 47 nautical miles, so about halfway to. This is our longest leg of the flight today, at 87 nautical miles. And we have one more leg of 56. Yeah, I was a bit surprised to see it on there. Yeah, that's what I know. As soon as I get my stuff on the PC and get a PC and get the yoke and throttle and pedal, I'm gonna have to report back to flight school and unlearn all the bad habits that I've acquired on the standard controller. Well, it's good that Santa was nice to you, huh? Good stuff. Oh, all right. We'll see. Yeah, it does, most people that I've talked to say you don't have to have the most expensive one, just get what works. And looks like Scruffy is live now. He's getting ready for the what's going on there? Boy, he's got it's like a bunch of people are all spawned in right on top of him. It's just a big mess on his screen right now. Ooh, uh-oh. See, this is what happens. I look away for just a moment and the plane's like, oh, let's go see what's over there. That's gonna do my head in if I watch that any longer. Got like all these virtual faces in there with this mustache and sunglasses. But yeah, I think Oz Nomad, who flies with Scruff and Captain Arash, and I think even flies with Allison once in a while too. He's got the Velocity 1 for his Xbox, and he likes it. He said it works pretty well. He said for the money that you spend, it's not a bad product. Updated one. Ooh, it's been a while since I updated that. Blue stick there in the DC-3. Drop out. Bossman, did you drop out? I don't see you here. did. That's okay. Yeah, at least we get a little bit of sunshine. Sunshine there. I feel like we're in a headwind. It's like we're moving, but we're not. You know, like it's almost like we're just kind of floating. Okay, out here it looks like the flight deck. Looks like it's something else is happening. We're just kind of floating in the air. If this was the only big sim I play, I would get the top model, but I play so many other games. Yeah, I could understand that, Nick. Hello, Bex. How are you? Nice to see you here. Monday. Hopefully Santa was good to you. Looks like he's planning out his route once they get the they've already gotten the word. Bex, have you not got entertaining to do? It's a bit rude. oh, hold on, let me see. Bex says yes, he did good. Daniel would be happy. I got 850 grams of chocolate. Ooh. Nice. So that'll hold you over for a little while at least. Unless you've eaten half of it already. The live weather's been fantastic, but it's all because it's very scenic. But also, I feel like as we get closer to for our landing there in Phifer, Wyoming, that is going to be a bit. The airport might be covered in clouds, and I may have to change it. All right, take care, Head Hit Wall. Thanks for flying along for a while. Appreciate it. New planes coming soon. Well, this week we are getting a marketplace update. There's a lot of stuff that's in the works. DC Designs is still finishing up on their F4 Phantom, and they are working on, and it won't be till later this year possibly, depending on how the development goes, but they're working on a C-17 and a C-5 Galaxy. Take care, Head Hit Wall. Appreciate it. Enjoy the rest of your Monday. So yeah, those are in development. Really keen on the C-17. Maybe not so much the C-5, but the C-17 might be fun to fly. I know there's somebody's working on an A380. Somebody else is doing a 777, I think. Yeah, there's a bunch of stuff. Yeah, yeah, somebody, I was watching a video, I think, towards the end of last week. Somebody did a quick, they were talking about some stuff that's in the works, and DC Designs, they're working on the F4. I think there's going to be like a couple different iterations of the F4 upon release, but that they are working. The two major projects for 2023 is the C5 and the C17. So, yeah, I am keen on the C17. That would be awesome. Yeah, there's a bunch of stuff. People are working on some stuff. But of course, all that, it may take them quite a while to develop it because, they may be at a certain point and then something, Microsoft or whoever does an update, and then they kind of have to go back and change a few things. So, yeah, there's quite a bit, I think, that's in development. And of course, we're getting the first, I think, in February. It's right before the Wasm fix is supposed to come out in March with Sim Update 12. There's supposed to be the first Aircraft and Avionics Update 1 is supposed to come out. So a lot of the stuff, the base stuff that came with the Sim, is getting a kind of an overhaul. Some of the planes will get updated avionics and stuff like that as well. I think Working Titles is working on some of the avionics improvements for like the TBM 930. And yeah, the A380 would be amazing. I would be happy to. I don't know if it would come to the console though, because it's probably very memory intensive. So I think it might just be a PC only for the time being. But I'm hoping, like I said, if I can get the money together early next year, I'm hopping over to the PC and not looking back. That's the plan. So, but I know the PC has its own share of issues, different from the Xbox side. You got the whole file structures, and when you do updates, you got to do things a certain way and all that. Yeah, I can't afford, there's so many other things I want to fly in the Sim that just aren't available on the PC, on the Xbox side, and there's no telling if or when they'll ever arrive. So, yeah, I know we're supposed to get something. There's supposed to be a marketplace update this week, but there wasn't one last week because of the holidays. There wasn't any updates at all. I think the only update was the one for the Working Titles, another little Garmin system that they're working on improving. That was updated. Some stuff there was updates for stuff on the PC side that, of course, we're waiting for on the Xbox side for marketplace approval. So yeah, it's just yeah, there's a lot of stuff in development. I think PMDG said that they were working on a 777. Matter of fact, hey, no worries, boss man. Thanks for flying along for a while. Appreciate it. Yeah, I figured a lot of people would be flying over there with Scruff. It's fun. Not at all. I will be joining him at some point today as well. Just gotta. Once we're on the ground there, we still got, let's see, 26, just under 27 nautical miles to our second BORDME there. Then we have another 56 nautical mile leg. I may turn off the live weather, because I think, it's, you know, let's just go. It's going to say Arctic, though. When I switch this off, it automatically goes to the first. Ooh, yeah, look at that. There we go. Ooh, that's still... That is not just a few. That is... Let's just put blue skies there we go. That's what it looks like without the... There. Alright. Now we can see the rest of the... I have the DC-3. I did one flight in it, like acoustic, and there was some stuff that I was looking for on the forums about the DC-3. There's some stuff that I felt like I had missed in regards to the plane, and so I was following the kind of like the separate forum entry about the DC-3. And what I discovered, and you know, and I get it, it's I don't know how to say it. Well, basically what happened was somebody had contacted Airplane Heaven, I think was the one that did DC-3 for the 40th anniversary. And what it sounded like, what I read was that they never had any intentions of the plane being on the console. It was only there because of the 40th anniversary stuff. But if they hadn't planned on that, it was just kind of I don't want to say a last minute deal, but basically they I guess reluctantly agreed. But they said that if they had their way, it would have been payware and it would have been on the PC only. And I took that as a huge slight against the Xbox simming community. Like but I get it. They want their product to look the best as possible, but because of the limitations of the Xbox, they kind of had to dumb some things down, basically, from what I understood. And so it felt like it was just like a huge slander against the Xbox community. So what I've decided, and for the time being, and maybe in the new year it'll come back, but I don't want to feature a product, and I get it was free. You know, when something's free, you can't expect it to be the best. You know, sometimes it will be, but not always. Yeah, I felt like, well, why should I showcase your product on my channel if that's how you feel about the Xbox? You know. But I do have it. It's down the, you know, because I got the 40th anniversary stuff that everybody did. But I did one flight in Canada, and but yeah, maybe next year it'll return. I felt that it was. And I think once I can get a PC, maybe then for sure it'll return, because you can, you know, I think it'll be a much better looking product and all that. Yeah, it felt like a slap in the face, like we didn't deserve it, you know, kind of thing. and I get it. Like I said, I understand a lot of it's about the limitations of the Xbox and the processing power and all that. I'm on the low end of that with the Series S, but yeah, if that's how they really felt, I wish they hadn't done what they did. Because I think if there's enough people who enjoy the sim on the Xbox side who eventually can get a PC, you're alienating people who might say, well, maybe I won't buy any of your stuff on the PC. They do. My understanding too is that their reputation isn't that good as it is because they did the Electra, and a lot of people say the Electra isn't that great either. It just looks good, but they said the sounds are just as bad as if Coronado did it. But I can't tell because when Allie was flying it, Allison was on when her and Captain Arish were doing the flight together as Amelia Earhart and Fred Noonan. I couldn't tell I couldn't really notice that the sounds of the aircraft were suspect. So, yeah, but I'd like to have more vintage stuff. It's just that it's more limited, it seems, in that respect on the Xbox side. Oh, I apologize about the 7. I didn't even realize that the commercial break had been forthcoming. I apologize about that. So basically, I do have it, because it was part of the 40th anniversary stuff. I did one flight in it, and then there was something that I looked up that I was trying to understand in regards to the aircraft. And I went to the forums, and basically somebody had contacted, I think they were on the Xbox side, they contacted Aeroplane Heaven about some things, and basically the response was, we should be thankful we got it. If Aeroplane Heaven had their way, it would have been payware, and it would have been on the PC side only. They had never intended for it to go to the Xbox side. And again, I get it. I understand that, but you made the deal with Microsoft, right? You signed the contract, shook hands, whatever it was, you agreed. Even if it was reluctantly, you said, okay, we'll do it. So if people on the Xbox side have some legitimate concerns or complaints, whatever you want to call it, then okay, that's understandable, because I think that was the one plane that I think in the 40th anniversary, all told, that was the one thing I think everybody was looking forward to, because there was like, oh, finally we're getting a big engine, classic airliner sort of thing. And so yeah, I just felt, what I was saying was, it felt like what their response to the person, and they posted this in the forums, and it was a very negative thing. It was like a slap in the face to the Xbox community, simming community. And it was like, well, look, you guys made the deal. This is the way I look at it. You signed the contract, whatever. You got something from Microsoft regarding this, right? Whatever it may have been financially or whatever, right? You made that deal. Nobody in the Xbox community was forcing you to do that, right? It would have been, I think everybody was like, we want this, right? It was when it was announced, everybody was like, oh, fantastic. But yeah, so I think once I get on the PC side, I'd definitely be happy to fly it again. I feel as an Xbox simmer right now, I don't want to showcase something by a developer who has a very jaded view of the Xbox community. And maybe I took that the wrong way. Maybe what I read it wasn't the way that they wanted to come across, but I know there's a lot of developers who are keen on not releasing their stuff on the Xbox because of the limitations of the Xbox. Part of that being the WASM thing, so I get that, but it's like, I wish they had maybe worded their response a little bit differently to say, we did things within that limitation, and we're kind of stuck with what we have, unfortunately. But yeah, they made that deal, so you shook the hands, you took the check. You can't be surprised when people are kind of like, well, this isn't what I was expecting it to be. Yeah. Well, yeah, and that's the other thing too. My understanding is that with the Electra, for instance, a lot of people were excited about that, and then they were kind of like, once they got it, they were like, "Wow, this is what I thought it would be." So yeah, I was excited. Like when I saw that, I was like, "Oh man, I can't wait to fly this." I was already thinking ahead, like we're gonna do a tour across Alaska or Canada. And we're going to try to go all the way up north to Alert, up there near the North Pole, and then come back down. Like I had a plan, for it. But after I saw that, I was just like, well, there goes the plan's going to go right out the door, and I would not, if I had the opportunity right now to buy something else from them, I probably wouldn't. Unless it was something like they would have to really wow me in order to get my money at this point. But yeah, it's the other thing too is I hear Coronado used to have all these fantastic products, and now all of a sudden the sound's not as great. They don't they release stuff and then it doesn't get updated forever and ever, and they're not the only developer that does that, unfortunately. But they're one of the more well-known ones. And I don't fly anything. I only have a few Coronado planes now, the Stagger Wing and the Twin Beach. But I've uninstalled all the rest of them because they've not done anything to improve their products really. They're very slow on their updates. Whereas other companies who probably don't nearly have the same name as like Coronado or some of the other ones do, like the developer for the little Vision Jet has already been working on updates for the plane. And that tells me that they really care about their product. They know that they missed a few things upon release, and they're already working on fixes for it. That's the best thing that they can do, because then it shows that they actually care about their products. See, I didn't know they were working on Atlantis, so that's interesting. I would be interested in that because it's a classic World War II, plane. A lot of history there. So yeah, it's just I think unfortunately sometimes the developers kind of shoot themselves in the foot. And I get it. They do put a lot of time and effort into their product. I think that'd be my feeling is a lot of them do work hard to try to create something. But then it's just what do you? Oh wow! I did not know that. See, that's sad. Stuff like that, I had that with the T-45C. from what's that company called? I can't even think of the name of it. I couldn't fly it for quite some time, and then finally there was an update that came out. Now I can fly it, but I was one of those few people on the Xbox that you would go do cold and dark, or you'd spawn in on the runway ready to go. Game would crash, and it's unfortunate. But yeah, like I flew the virtual coal Embraer 190 on Sunday, and I uninstalled it after that because it's a hot mess, you know. And that's the bad part, is we don't have, those are the only options for regional jets on the Xbox. We don't have the Bombardier CRJs yet. Unfortunately. So trying to do regional jet service, because when I looked up on FlightAware for flights from Chicago to JFK, because that's one of the routes under Parasox Airlines, and I thought, well, let me try to find something that I can fly that I have. And so I was like, oh, the 190 with the JetBlue service, because that's what JetBlue flew from Chicago to JFK. It was an Embraer 190. So I'm like, oh, cool, I got that. It's got a JetBlue livery, perfect. So I put the flight number in and all that to try to make it look and sound legit. And unfortunately, my experience was that it was just a big mess. And so I've uninstalled it. And maybe if there's a big update at some point that improves the quality of the product, then you know, we'll I'll fly it again. But right now it's just not a good option. Heading at least roughly the right direction towards but yeah, okay, let me get back to the chat here. Yeah, I did hear that there was a the audio was a lot better than I think people were expecting. And that does make a difference, I think. You know, kind of, I was just thinking about the racing simulators where, you know, it helps you connect with the car virtually if the sound is what you would expect to hear. You know, when I used to go to races at Laguna Seca, the C5R, the C6R, and the C7R all had very distinct engine sounds from Corvette, right? But you go into like Forza Motorsports, it does not sound the way you expect it to sound. And the weird thing is, it's like you have access to, you know, you could talk to Corvette Racing and say, we want to record engine sounds, you know. What can you do to help us to make it sound more realistic? And so yeah, when things sound like you expected, like the Twin Beach, it when I've heard it, even on YouTube, if you listen to a Twin Beach actually start up, it does not sound the same in the sim, you know. And it's like how could you not? There's Twin Beaches that are still flying to this day. All you have to do is reach out to somebody and say, hey, can we get sounds of the startups, the revving of different, just so that you could put that in there, right? I don't know that how hard could it be? Unless it's just that you don't have the recording capabilities, or I don't know. But yeah, the sounds are important, I think. Especially when you're talking about prop driven engines. You want them to sound as close to real as possible. Whether it's a big radial or just a piston, whatever it is, you want it to sound authentic, or as close to authentic as possible. But when you just throw something on there and it's just like, well, this doesn't sound like what it should sound like, it's a bit of a letdown. So yeah, it's unfortunate, but yeah, sounds are there. I think that's something they all need to improve. Is getting as close to getting the real, getting it to sound as realistic as possible. Because that's part of the immersion, I think, is having you're like, oh, I'm in a big radial engine plane. Well, this is what I expected to sound. It's like you're in a 7-liter V8 engine car, and this is what you expect to sound. But yeah, I think that's the thing is on the Xbox side, we don't have access to that. And we don't have access to, I think what it was the it was something to do with the liveries on the DC3 for the Xbox community. I think they said that Airplane was doing some stuff, but they said it was only going to be on the PC side, and everybody's like, well, what about us? And that's what I think led to the yeah, that's what I could understand that completely. Yeah, I would. When the first time I flew it, but it was one of those planes like when I did it. Usually, what I'll do just to kind of get a feel for a plane, I go to Moffett Federal Airfield in the southern part of the Bay Area in California. And I'll do a startup there, taxi out, try to take off, fly around a bit. I won't put it together like a flight plan, but just something just so that I can get a feel for it. And it just so that was one of the ones where I'm like, I do everything that I think experiences told me. You do these things, and then this is what should happen. And so I put the flaps down for 10 degrees for takeoff, and all this other stuff. And next thing I know, like the plane just wanted to go skyrocketing in the air, and then it stalled. And I'm just like, what in the world? So then I had to look. Okay, you don't use the flaps for takeoff. The weight then two cats was talking about the weight distribution. Yes. Yeah, my friend Mick would agree with that acoustic. I think a lot of people would like to have a proper B-17 would be fantastic. So yeah, there was like the weight issue, all kinds of stuff. The center of gravity was all jacked up. But I was able to do a flight. Once I got something sorted, I was able to fly from Moffett up to Oakland. Barely got it on the ground. It just shot off to the left. Finally got it to stop off the runway. But yeah, it was just it's one of those things that's a part of aviation history, especially here in America. Although the DC-3 has been used, I think around the world in different variations or whatever. But it's one of those. It's if you know aviation, like the DC-3, the DC-6, the DC-9. Those were like the golden age of aviation. Even the China Clipper from Pan Am. Those are all things that are, you know, steeped in aviation history and early air travel and stuff like that. But yeah, it's just it'd be nice if there was more. Uh, well, I'd like to see more of that. It's it's one thing to hop into an A320 and get up, take off and then hit the autopilot button and then the plane just basically flies itself. It's fun, but it's also a bit kind of like, eh. It's not like the most exciting thing in the world. So, yeah, if there's more of that historical prop driven, and that's why I think I have to, if I want any of those things, I have to pop over to the PC side, because it may not ever be, the quality may not ever be as good on the Xbox side. But I'll fly in the interim. I'll fly what I can, with what I have, and just try to just do the best I can with it. I love flying this. For those of you who've never been on my channel, I do love the Junkers 52. I do love the retrofit because it has a lot more bells and whistles than the standard one does. I think even the standard one though does have this, so that does help for navigating. If we didn't do that and I had the live weather on, I think I would have been screwed. But yeah, but I love this type of aviation, and it's fantastic that we're able to fly it in the sim, enjoy it. Just like the DC-3 and the DC-6. Yeah, I think that's my main motivator for getting a PC, is to have. Yeah, this was a part of the free update that came out, I think, on the 8th of December. I think it was supposed to be like mid. It was either 8th or the 15th. I want to say it was the 8th. There was like a big planned update, and I thought that we would get maybe some liveries. They did do some work on the liveries on this model. I think they just cleaned up some stuff a little bit. I don't know what exactly, but I was hoping for more liveries, because this is the only one that on the retro, because the other ones are the Xbox. One of them is blue and one of them is green. Yeah. So it doesn't have an autopilot or anything. It just has so you can do a map. You can see a flight plan. I think it's kind of like a bit like a Garmin. So like if you go flight plan, it'll say roughly. So we're doing RLG to LAR, and now we're doing LAR to Keene, but it doesn't show that we're in that leg, like the little bar doesn't connect LAR to Keene. But I just like it because it's got the map function there, so at least I can kind of keep going the right direction. But yeah, no autopilot or anything like that. It just shows you your magenta line if you want to use that on top of all the other instruments to fly the right direction. But yeah, I think they did do a couple updates to the flight model itself. possibly, but other than that, there wasn't a whole lot to it, which I was expecting more, and then dial this back since I'm not in the extreme cold now. It's about the live weather. But yeah, you can hide it. Like there's a thing you can click right there to hide it if you don't want to use it. It only tilts up, and that's as far back as it tilts, and then it goes all the way to 0. I don't think it goes like negative or anything like that. So that's the normal position. It doesn't go left or right. Tilt it towards the pilot. You only get this. Yes, when I do these flights, acoustic, I'm trying to find. We're trying to go to places we've not really been yet, or landed airports that we've not landed at yet, but also try to have a bit of scenery along the way. You know, so yeah, just something different. But yeah, I turned off the live weather because I have a feeling that once I get to my airport there in the distance, it would be under clouds, and I'd be circling forever trying to find it. I don't even know if it's a towered airport. Let me take a look here. I don't think it is. Is it about 4,800 feet in altitude? Let's see. Nope, no tower. So it's just calling into traffic. It's clear at Phifer. Okay, that's all right. We'll leave it alone. It was just a gamble. I was like, well, let's just try it and see how we do with it. It was probably a bit. It was a bit of a challenge on my part to see if I could get through, and so we're probably gonna have to be at about 7,000 feet. Let's go start losing some altitude now. Lots of farm circles. Yeah. He was here, Bex. I don't know if he still is. You know, he might have buggered off. Or, I don't know if Joe's gone live, or he might be doing who knows what Young Addies is up to. Oh, there he is. His ears must have been burning, Bex. He heard you talking about him. Alright, I'm going to step away for just a moment. I'll be right back and we'll finish up the flight. Young Addies doesn't have Discord anymore. What? Oh my goodness. Joseph, how are you living without Discord? My goodness. Alright, I should be able to call in and let them know what we need. Right there. 26. My goodness. Oh, Discord. Oh. Alright, there's our traffic pattern right there. Go ahead and make our way there and get ready to put this thing on the ground. He's not even paying attention to what I'm saying. Turn this off now. Right, all we gotta do. There we go. Ta-da! I'm trying to figure out how Young Addies is surviving in 2022. Discord. Oh my goodness. Well, thank you again for everybody coming in and hanging out today. Thank you for the new followers, and thank you again for the raid earlier. Go back down to Scoobs. Thank you for the raid. Head hit wall. Thank you for the follow. Caesar Empire. Thank you for the follow. Thank you Caesar Empire for the 7 bits cheered. Thank you X Dragon for the follow. Thank you Druzy for the follow. Thank you Miles High Club for the follow. Bossman Gaming, thank you for the follow. Appreciate it all. Nice to have you all here today on this Monday, International Gift Returning Day. That's what we're going to call it. That is the new name for the 26th of December. International Gift Return Day. Thank you, Kapustik, for flying the rest of the way with me there in the DC-3. Thank you, Bossman and Head Hit Wall for flying along as well. You all along today. I feel fairly confident in saying that I don't think Bex is going to return her chocolate anytime soon. Pop over and continue to watch Scruffy in the air and see when I can pop in and fly with him for a little while today. He's flying on the Cannonball Run there. I have to make a note of that. I won't send Joseph any more messages on Discord. All right, let's get this thing on the ground. Well, Bex, you know he doesn't have a PS4 now. That's changed since you last messaged him to say that he's got a message. Since then, the PS4's been gone. It's gone. You're gonna have to do a you have to tie a little note to a pigeon and send it to Joseph that way. Or tell Pulse that's what he's gotta do. And also there's some string tied to the pigeon that'll you have to do the can and string. Tin can and the string to communicate. He's gonna have to write a letter. Dear Joseph. Blah 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 blah. Yours truly, Pulse. Yes, get Discord back, damn it. Alright, there we go. Alright, well, get on the ground here, we'll wrap things up. Thank you again for everybody coming in today, hanging out. Nice to see you all here. We had a nice weekend with family and friends. Maybe you like me, you had neighbors fussing with each other Christmas Day, Christmas night, Christmas evening. Momentarily. There's a bit of farming up here. I do see the crop circles like Kapusa was saying. I always wonder, I mean, other than grass for, I wonder what they would plant here up in this part of Wyoming. What would they farm? Looks like a brand new paved runway there. Little bump coming up. There we are. On behalf of myself and entire flight crew, we'd like to welcome you to Phifer, Wyoming. I do believe local time is 7 in the morning. We understand and appreciate the fact that it's International Gift Return Day. Hopefully your return lines are short and you get what you want in return. Do join us Wednesday, 6:45 Eastern, 11:45 UTC/UK. We will be continuing our journey from here to Bismarck, North Dakota. Thank you, Joseph. That was pretty good. Wasn't the best, but I'll take it. So we'll be heading to Bismarck next. Please keep your butts in your seats with the seatbelt fastened. So we come to a complete stop there. This little fancy little airport here. Thank you all again, everybody, for coming and hanging out. Thank you. Make sure I say it right. Scoobs G for the raid this morning. Appreciate that. Thank you again for everybody who followed. Quite an unexpected treat here on a Monday. Today's flight, of course, brought to you by Pair of Socks Air. Just because you have a pair of socks does not mean they have to match. I feel like there's just barely enough room for this plane to taxi in here. That is definitely not a DC-3. Ooh, 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 ooh. Right through the building there. Oh, I think I'll just work hard at it. Well, hard work doesn't hurt. But, there we got rid of that. Yeah, we don't need all that kind of stuff. I don't need to buy viewers or whatever. I'm just gonna people want to come in and follow, and it's entirely up to them. All right, let's go ahead and shut this thing down. Get our lights off. There's one. There's two. There we go. All right, there we are. Ta-da! Hour 56. We made it a little bit quicker than expected, even with the live weather on there for most of the flight. Anyway, that will do it for today. I do appreciate everybody coming in, hanging out today. We'll be back on Wednesday, departing from here and heading up to Bismarck, North Dakota. And then next week we're going to do 2 flights, Monday and Tuesday in the Junkers 52. That'll be legs 33 and 34. You're welcome, Joseph. You're welcome. Glad you were able to get yourself sorted and talk back to Pulse. So anyway, that will do it. So yeah, do enjoy the rest of your Monday morning, afternoon, evening, early Tuesday, depending on where you are in the world. I have been and always shall be your host and pilot, Uncle B, until Wednesday. Oh, do go, if you want to see what Scruffy's up to today on his Cannonball run, there you go. Go give him a follow. Go say hello to him. And, yeah, so there we go. Anyway, until Wednesday, peace, live long and prosper.